Hi, this is Tulsi from BioBits. Today, before going into our topic, let us all have a small warm-up activity. All of you fold your hands by interlocking your fingers. And after interlocking, observe which hand's thumb is on top. For me, it's right hand thumb. Then all of you imagine an imaginary water bottle and try to open the lid of that water bottle. So in this process, which hand you are using to open the lid? So in my case, I'm using my right hand. So if you could observe both the situations, I was using my right hand. That means I'm considered as right hand user. But we do have few people who are left-handers. So what is exactly deciding whether you are a right hand user or left hand user? It is not by you. It is by genetically inherited feature. Yes, we may get doubt. Yes, some may acquire later. Okay, that's a different one. But genetically, certain characteristics or complete your personality up to 20 to 60% is decided by your genes. So that's why coming to whether your looks or maybe the sickness or behavior or the traits, 20 to 60% is by genetically it is determined. Yes, the reason behind this is your genes are exactly giving the copies of your personality. That is nothing but they are giving the blueprint of your personality, and that is influencing your personality to the maximum amount. But I do agree, because in the future years or in our life experiences, whatever we learned from our surroundings, from our experiences, can't we take that as influencing under the personality traits? Yes, we do have to consider. Okay, so let us take one example. Like in China, they've taken few set of students and who were under harsh environment. So they just lived under the harsh environment. And when they compared these people with the melancholic, that means who were always in deep thoughts and provided with everything, but the people who were under or who lived under harsh environment, they could develop more of broad thinking and also how to go about their life in future. They were having clear plans and also they developed more individuality and independence, because the conditions which they have faced, it has given the experience to cross these hurdles in their earlier years, so that has helped them in their further years. So from this, finally we can conclude that 20 to 60% our personality is decided by our genes, which we do get from our parents. So in the form of egg and the sperm from father, which gives 23 chromosomes, and the egg from mother gives 23 chromosomes. So total it becomes again diploid, that is 46 number of chromosomes in each and every cell of our body. But excepting here gametes, because gametes do have always haploid number of chromosomes. So now I hope you all get an idea. What is our topic? It's related to genetics. It is principles of inheritance and variations. So our topic is principles of inheritance and variations. This comes under genetics and evolution unit, second unit, which carries the complete unit carries 20 marks out of 70 marks in theory, right? So my question here is, if we all would be given chance to choose our appearance, like the eyes or the chin and also ears and skin color, otherwise your height, so how would you feel? Definitely we all will feel happy and we decide what are the characters we want in our zygote level. But unfortunately this is decided by our genes, which we do get from our parents. So this is nothing but heredity. So heredity is nothing but which is transferring the parental characteristics to offspring. So let us see what is the main agenda of our topic, first part. So here we are going to see about gene and allele, phenotype and genotype, homozygous and heterozygous, dominant allele, recessive allele, and monohybrid cross, which was actually given by Mendel. So first, let me tell you, where do you have these chromosomes and what are they composed of? This is the cell, right? So inside the cell, we do have nucleus. Inside the nucleus, chromosomes are scattered. Generally, these chromosomes, they look like a thick ribbon-like structures when there is cell division. When the cell is undergoing cell division, we can see these chromosomes as thick ribbon-like structures. But when the cell is not undergoing cell division, or it remain in the interphase stage or the silent stage, that time we can see just like a chromatin fibers. And these chromosomes are called as hereditary units. That means which will transfer your parental characters to you, right? And these chromosomes are composed of a material called as DNA, right? So this DNA is the double helical structure and which is composed of nitrogenous bases, pentose sugar and phosphate. In DNA, we do have four types of nitrogenous bases: adenine, thymine, guanine, and cytosine. So inside the nucleus, we do have chromosomes. Chromosomes are composed of DNA and histone proteins, and this DNA is a double helical structure. On this DNA, we do have nucleotides. Specific nucleotide sequence, we call them as genes. So let us check what do you mean by character and trait. Because we have seen that inside the nucleus, we do have chromosomes. Chromosomes consist of DNA, and this is the genetic material. So which is actually giving the character and the traits. So here character is nothing but any heritable feature. So which is coming from our parents to offspring. So from generation to generation, it is passing on. Any heritable feature. For example, you take the height. We are considering height as one character. Okay. And skin color as one character. Right. And also thick lips, thin lips, eyebrows, and also hair, texture. These are all some of the characteristics. But do we have only one character for everyone? Just now we have seen like right hand use and the left hand use. We do have different. So that's why one character can appear in two forms. That is called as trait. So trait is nothing but alternate form of a character. So here you could see that green color eye and blue color eyes. We do have brown color eyes maximum, right? So why do we get these different traits? Because that character can be controlled by a gene, but that gene is expressed in two forms. That is nothing but the allele. So any heritable feature is called as a character, which we do get from our parents. So height. But in human height, it is not by one gene. So that's why we do have tall, okay, dwarf and medium. We do have different variations: 5.1, 5.2, 5.3, 4.9. So why variations are possible? Because it is a polygenic inheritance. So first remember, wherever we use the character, that is nothing but some heredity. So any character is a heritable feature. Then trait is nothing but alternate form of a character. So hand use, I'm considering as a character. Then right hand use, left hand use are the traits. Similarly, one character is controlled by a gene and it is giving two traits. These two traits are controlled by two alleles. So that is the principle. So let us see that. So what do you mean by a gene? A short length of DNA found on a chromosome. So you can see here chromosome. Yes, it is composed of DNA and DNA is composed of nucleotides which have sugar, phosphate and nitrogenous bases. So certain segments of these nucleotide sequences we do consider as a gene. So every gene codes for a particular protein that is giving the expression of the character. So to express the character, the gene is responsible, which is going to produce its proteins. Now this gene has two alternate forms, that is nothing but alleles. So alleles are the variations of the same gene. And whenever you observe any character, like suppose we have seen just now mine right hand use, okay, that is observable because externally you can feel like, yes, she is using right hand. That is considered as phenotype. And yes, I'm right handed, clear, but you can't consider me I'm as directly as a dominant right hand, or maybe I'm a heterozygous. Okay, it may be homo or hetero. So what do you mean by this? Let us see in the next slide. So the combination of alleles that control each characteristic is called genotype. So my character which is expressed is, the phenotype is right hand use. Okay, so what is the gene and the alleles responsible for this? That is nothing but my genotype. Okay, so I may be having both the dominant alleles for the right hand use Otherwise, I may be having one dominant allele, one recessive allele also. Clear? So that's why alleles can be of two types, that is dominant and recessive. So best example you can check here. These are two chromosomes. On these two chromosomes, here dominant alleles are represented in yellow color, right? And recessive alleles are represented in green color. Now you see that we may be having both the chromosomes. So this one set of chromosomes, we call them as homologous chromosomes. That means both look similar and each one is from each of our parents. On these, you have here dominant allele, dominant allele. So whatever the phenotype you get is the dominant one. Okay. Then coming to the homozygous recessive. Here you have the recessive allele and recessive allele. So that's why whatever the character or phenotype you express is a recessive feature. Then you have here one dominant, one recessive. In this case, what is the phenotype you express? Definitely, no doubt, it's a dominant. Why? The term indicates that always the dominant allele will suppress the recessive allele, right? So, for example, you take in hair, wavy hair is more dominant, okay, than soft hair, you think. So, suppose if a person is having wavy hair, he might be having both the alleles for dominance, for wavy. Otherwise, only one dominant allele is sufficient. If he or she has the second one as the recessive also, but the dominant one will be expressed. So, let us see the definition of recessive allele. An allele that can be expressed in homozygous condition. What do you mean by homo? Just now we have seen in this picture here, both are of same type. So when this recessive allele is expressed, when you have on both the chromosomes of the homologous pair, recessive alleles. Why? In the presence of dominant allele, recessive cannot be expressed because it is super expressive. The dominant one is super expressive. So that's why an allele that can be expressed in homozygous condition and its expression will be masked by the dominant allele. If you have the dominant allele, recessive allele expression will be masked. So that's why you can take, for example, height in plants. When we consider small t, generally in genetics for the dominant allele, we do show with the capital letter and the recessive one with small letter. So when we consider about the height, we are taking it as small t. So this indicates that both are recessive. So now the phenotype will be the dwarf. Okay, what is the genotype? Small t. Clear? So genotype is nothing but whatever the genes they are giving your phenotypical character. Then coming to the dominant allele. Dominant allele is the allele that can express independently in heterozygous condition and masks the effect of the recessive allele. For example, you have both the dominant alleles, fine, no problem, because both are dominant and it will be expressing its own character. But when you have one dominant, one recessive, the dominant allele is suppressing your recessive allele. So that's why what phenotype you express, it's nothing but your dominant. So whenever we write the genotype of any plant, height, capital T, it is tall. If it is capital T, small t, is also tall. The reason is you have one dominant allele, right? Then coming to the terminology, which we have to remember the key definitions, a dominant allele only need to be inherited from one parent in order for the characteristic to show up the phenotype, right? So as we have discussed earlier, if we want to express the dominant feature, we need not to have both dominant alleles. We might have only one that will anyway suppress the recessive one. That is the meaning. But when we want to get the recessive feature, we need to have both recessive alleles only from the parents, right? So when is our recessive feature expressed? When do we get or when we have both recessive alleles from our parents? So if there is only one recessive allele, it will remain always suppressed or hidden by the dominant one. That's why Mendel made from this one law, that is law of dominance and recessiveness. According to him, we do say that when there is two types of alleles, for example, capital T, small t, capital T will suppress the expression of the small t. That is nothing but heterozygous condition. So if the two alleles of the gene are same, we describe them as homozygous. That is what we have seen. If we are writing small t, both are of same type. Otherwise, we write capital T, both are of same type. That is called homozygous condition. Okay. An individual could be either homozygous, dominant, or homozygous recessive. For example, if you consider homozygous dominant, you think, okay, so I can take it as capital T, homozygous dominant. Okay, if I write small t, homozygous recessive. If I write capital T, it is heterozygous. So in this case, you need to get one capital T from one parent, other capital T from other parent. And suppose if you are homozygous recessive, one small t from one parent, other small t from other parent. If you are heterozygous, one capital T from one parent and one small t from one parent. For example, if you want to get one capital T and one small t from both the parents, your parents need not to be, okay, having capital T, okay, or they might be either capital T, small t also. For example, if you see one parent is capital T, other parent is capital T, small t, you might have got this T from this parent and this small t from this parent. Okay, so there are different chances. Let us see in the next slide. Now, whenever we talk about these dominant and the recessive alleles, we always consider about expression. Okay, so how do we express these dominant and recessive alleles? Always the dominant one will be in a capital letter and recessive one will be in a small letter, because this is in genetics, it's a rule. Like when we do the Punnett square problems, we do follow in the same manner. Now, let us see one example. What is given here? Mother is brown color eye and father is also brown eyes. But there is a chance to have their kid with a blue eyes. How is it possible? Okay, because generally whatever the external feature we see that, yes, mother is brown eyes, father also brown eyes, child should get only brown eyes. But that is only the phenotype. Okay, as we said that if both are having dominant allele for brown, yes, it is possible. If both are having heterozygous condition, so now you check here. For example, mother. So this is capital B. Okay. Mother is capital B, right? And small b. So small b, it is recessive. Okay. It is recessive. Now this is dominant. So what is actually this condition called as? It is called as heterozygous. Okay, it is hetero. Even you see the father's condition, same, heterozygous. Hetero. Clear? So that's why, suppose if father's sperm with B, okay, fuses with mother's egg with capital B, both capital B, then the child will be with brown eyes. And if one parent's brown eyes, capital B, other parent small b, then also it is brown eyes, because as we said that in the presence of dominant allele, recessive allele will be suppressed, right? Even here also chance same, but here we do get a chance to blue eyes. The reason here is this child might have received both the parents' recessive allele. So this condition we call it as the homozygous but recessive. So this is the possibility. Now, we do have different traits in human and plants, which we do get. Some of the examples are hair texture. As I told you, we might be having the wavy or straight or hair color also, then dimples and the freckles, tongue rolling. Some people or kids, they could not roll their tongue. So that might be the recessive feature. Even in plants also, we do have the flower color, shape, leaf shape, and plant heights. But all these are not controlled by one gene, might be by more than one gene. And even free earlobes and attached earlobes, generally we could see in children. Okay, so when they use these free lobes and the attached lobes, this shows that from which part, right, it is attached. So you can see that here it is like a lobe, it's a free, the end of the earlobe, but here it is completely attached. So one is dominant feature, the other one is recessive feature. Then who has given actually foundation for all these characters what we are discussing? There is a dominant allele and recessive allele, and the characters will be passing on from generation to generation. It is by Gregor Mendel. So actually, at the age of 21, he started his work, and he worked with a garden pea. So when he was doing his experiment, he found out like, yes, there are homozygous condition, heterozygous condition, and some are pure breeds. So with his experiments, he made monohybrid and dihybrid cross. So let us see what he mean by monohybrid cross or inheritance. So monohybrid, hybridization is nothing but we are crossing two breeds. Okay, mono with a single character. So monohybrid inheritance is the inheritance of characteristics controlled by single gene, one gene. So this can be determined by using genetic diagram known as Punnett square. This is also scientist name who has given Punnett square, where we do write one parent's gametes one side and the other parent's other side, and total zygotes inside the boxes. So here we will be identifying the possible combinations. That is the advantage of monohybrid cross. Okay, and here we do find the ratio in the first generation and the second generation. We need to remember one thing: dominant allele is shown using the capital letter and recessive allele is shown using the small letter, right? So let us take one example. Height of the pea plant is controlled by a single gene, but in human, height is controlled by more than one gene. That's why we do consider as polygenetic. Clear? So here it is tall and short. That's it. Okay. So tall allele is always dominant. We do represent with capital T, and the small one is with a small t. Okay. Now let us see one example here. Yes. Show the possible allele combinations of offspring produced when pure breeding with a tall plant. So you are using here pure breeding short plant with a tall plant, right? So first generation, he did not take heterozygous. He took only both pure breeds, right? For example, you take tall here, completely tall plant. So capital T, then here short plant. So that is small t, right? So now when it comes to their gametes, capital T here, right? And here small t, right? So when we check this capital T and this small t, capital T, and again capital T, small t, and again this capital T and small t, capital small, and this capital and small. So you can see in the first generation, all are tall. Why? Okay, 100% we do get tall in the F1 generation, first filial generation. The reason is here, we have used both pure breeds, right? But all these are not pure breeds, you see. Here, one plant is pure tall, other plant is pure dwarf, but we do get all heterozygous condition. Then next generation, what he did, he took two offsprings from here. Okay, capital T, small t and capital T, small t. Then he self-pollinated them. You can see here, capital T, small t and capital T, small t. Yes. So here, both are heterozygous condition, right? You can see capital T, small t, capital T, small t. Now you see their gametes, capital T, small t, capital T, small t. So first, this capital T and this capital T. So different parents. So this is tall plant. Then coming to next one. Okay. So here you have small t and here you have small t. So that's why this combination, right? And remaining to anyway capital T, small t, capital T, small t. The reason is here in both you have heterozygous condition. Okay. So capital T, then capital T, small t. Okay. Then next one, small t, capital T, small t, small t. So what is the actual percentage we got? 3 tall we got and 1 dwarf. So this is the phenotype ratio. Okay, phenotype means what you observe outside. But coming to genotype, you can see that 1:2:1. So what is this 1 here? So 1 is capital T, 2 are capital T, small t, and 1 is small t. So here the genotype is 1:2:1. So this one is capital T, and 2 we got capital small, and here small t. So that means what happened? When you took two parents with pure breeds, first generation, you got all dominant feature. In the second generation, when you take those offsprings and you self-pollinated, you got three tall, one dwarf. Okay, the reason is parents which you have taken are not pure breeds. They are heterozygous in condition, right? So according to Mendel, what is the phenotype ratio of F1 generation? It is 100% tall. And coming to F2 generation, it is 3:1. And what is the genotype ratio? 1:2:1. This we have to remember. Now let us check one assessment question here. See the question carefully. Yes. What are the possible genotypes of the parents of a child who has wavy hair? So they have given already that child is having capital H1, small h1. Okay. If the child has to get one capital H, one small h, what is the possibilities of their parent genotype combinations? Okay. So for example, one parent can be capital H, okay, and the other parent can be capital H, small h. Okay. So when you check this condition, you observe this child might have got this capital H and small h, right? So now what is the next possibility of it? Next possibility, again this parent, one parent can be capital H, small h, and the other parent can be small h, small h. So in this case also, this child might have got this. Okay. Now see the third possibility. One parent can be capital H, small h. Other parent is also capital H, small h. You see this one? So here she might have got either this or this condition also. Next one you check. One parent has capital H, small h. Other parent has small h, small h. So here she might got capital H, small h from here. See how many possibilities. So this is one first possibility and second possibility of the parents, third possibility and fourth possibility. So this is moreover the frequencies of possibilities where the child can get capital H from one parent and small h from other parent, right? I hope you understood about monohybrid cross, where we cross two pure breeds with single character. In the F1 generation, all the offsprings will show 100% with a dominant feature. But coming to the F2 generation, their phenotypes will be 3:1 and genotypes will be 1:2:1, right? So let us check in our next video what is dihybrid cross and also what are actually the exceptions of Mendel.